Hello, hello. How's it going, y'all? I don't usually do a lot of these type of yap videos, and it's been a hot minute, so I'm just replaying a VOD here. It's a stream of me playing some Rivals a couple months ago. And honestly, I just kind of wanted to talk about my personal take on the state of Rivals. It's kind of been a bit of a hot topic amongst the Rivals community and so forth. And I personally haven't played in about a month, so I kind of just wanted to air my thoughts out and just basically just yap like straight up. So if you like these kinds of videos or want to see more, feel free to let me know. If you find it like not that entertaining, that's okay too. But at the end of the day, I'm just here to, as I said, yap. So obviously Rivals, it's been out for some time, and I want to make it clear I don't hate this game. In fact, far from it. I still think the game is a lot of fun, even though I haven't played in some time. I still think the game has a lot of goodness to it, and I do also want the game to succeed. I don't want the game to fail. I don't want it to be bad. I want it to be good. I think it's healthy competition for games like Overwatch, and obviously, what other game out there lets you play some of the coolest Marvel heroes and villains right now in the form of a hero shooter? The answer is none. There's really no game quite like that. Anywho, that all being said, I'm basically going to dive into my reasons as to why I feel Rivals is in a sales spot and why it really, I think probably arguably more than ever before, really needs to have a hard hitter, like month, patch, whatever you name it, come up soon. It really needs to basically lock in a sense, in my opinion. So I have about 6 points here, and I'm just gonna list them off a rip. I basically have it on a notepad on my on my other monitor, so I don't forget. The number one thing I want to talk about off the top of my head is what I call the scale of balance. Now, obviously, Rivals I think is it's got a casual front, but at its core, it is a competitive game. That's just the fact of the matter. Obviously, again, it's a Marvel game. It's Marvel heroes and characters and all that, so there's gonna be a bit of a casual appeal to it, but I personally think that the vast majority of people that still play this game are the competitive players. I think the casual players will come on occasion when the new hero's out, or they've already left because of how competitive it is, and that's just how this game is. It is a hero shooter. It's very much in the same, you know, uh category as like Overwatch and so forth and so forth. So even if it wasn't designed with the intent of being competitive, but I think it does have competitive roots in my personal opinion. It's a competitive game, so balance is going to be a big hot topic. And I want to say that obviously it's hard to balance a game perfectly. It's very easy for me to armchair quarterback and sit here and be like, "Oh, just do this, do A, B, and C," and boom, the game is perfectly balanced. However, that being said, the balance has not been good. Like straight off the rip, the balance has been really lackluster. And I think the biggest issue is the strong characters continue to stay really, really good, and the weak characters are consistently weak. A really good example of weak characters are heroes like Black Widow, uh, Blade, Magic, BP, freaking. For the longest time, Thor was really bad. Now he's actually kind of good. Uh, so forth and so forth. Like you just have Iron Man has been bad for a while. Torch has been bad now for a while after having his time in the spotlight. Like Scarlet, there's just a lot of it is DPS characters too. And if you don't know already, there is a ton of DPS characters in this game. I think more than tanks and supports combined, so that just exacerbates another issue. But yeah, no, at the end of the day, again, there are gonna be metas, there are gonna be characters that are annoying and OP and so forth and so forth. But when it's the same characters always good and the same characters always bad, it gets really exhausting. I mentioned all the characters that I feel like are just weak, and then you look at the characters that have been consistently strong. You think of Phoenix, you think of honestly Hela, Namor, on the tank side, you could think of someone like a Mag, for the longest time, Emma, even to a degree, my boy Cap. There are just characters that continue to stay really, really strong for way too long. And then even other characters like Daredevil, really good for a long time. Elsa, even though she's a bit of a newer hero, she's just been so damn good since her release. I think personally, in my opinion, if I had to give my bias 2 cents, I think the worst example is probably Phoenix or Gambit. for support because they both have been basically top of the food chain since their release. Gambit came all the way back out in November. Phoenix, I think, was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know when Phoenix was. It was season 3, whenever that was. It's been a long, long time. And it's not that I want, like, it's not that characters innately have to be terrible, obviously. But when a character is meta and running lobbies and is a permaban, picker ban for months upon season after season, patch after patch, I'm sorry, you just have to change it. You have to change it up. You have to make changes. And unfortunately, the NetEase balance team just has an inability to make changes. It's really rivaling, no pun intended, Overwatch's balance. Because Overwatch has this issue too. I want to make that very clear. I'm not being a Overwatch shill by saying this. I play both games and I enjoy both, or at least have. I've been on a bit of another kick, but that's another point. So they just need to not be afraid to make changes. There seems to be a hesitation to really shake up the meta, and it's led to the state we're in right now where you just see the same characters banned all the time. You see Gambit's banned a lot, you get Phoenix banned a lot, Daredevil, Elsa, uh, so on and so forth. And I mean, there's even more supports I haven't talked about. Luna is consistently really good. She was like the best support in the game. Finally had like maybe a season not being meta, then she's gotten buffed and buffed, and she literally does like more damage than Hela. It's ridiculous. And I mean, Invis was really good for a long, long time. Loki has been really good. Honestly, virtually every support right now, except maybe Warlock or like Heal Pool, is like arguably an S tier hero. Like it's crazy. So that's my biggest issue with the balance. Is it's just been stale, and I don't care if it's like my favorite heroes. Like right now, Cap is really good from what I've read, but whether it's a hero I like or not, when it's the same characters, people are gonna get sick of playing against them, having to ban the same ones. Groot is another example. Every single game. And it even translates to quick play. Like, obviously, you think quick play, oh, well, everyone's going to play anything and everything. Well, not really. Even in quick play, you're seeing a lot of the meta heroes, the meta comps, and people, like, lose one fight, they'll swap to basically the sweatiest, strongest comp they can. And, I mean, that's just kind of a nature of competitive gaming, obviously. Just, how it is. But it's like, man, I don't know. They really need to shake up the balance, and I think people have a right to critique the balance. I think that asking for better balance patches is not out of line. I think it's more than reasonable. And again, there are some characters they do nerf properly or address properly. I think the nerfs to Black Cat a bit extreme. She didn't need to be nerfed, but it was over the top. And then there'll be heroes that don't get that. Like, we still haven't gotten a proper nerf for Gambit. We still haven't gotten a proper nerf for Phoenix. And Elsa got buffed in the same patch that Daredevil and Black Cat were nerfed. Like, it just, like, I don't know. It's gotten stale, and for my personal opinion, I don't really enjoy playing into heavy hit scan metas because it's just a bunch of poking. If I want to play like a poke game, I don't know, I'll play like Valo or something or whatever. Anywho, I might have been repeating the same points. If I'm sounding like a broken record, forgive me. I'm just kind of speaking off the top of my mind. But yeah, the balance really isn't good. And balance, I think, is a big part of the game. You can have cool characters. Like, I think the way the heroes are designed is really fun. Some of them are really, really fun. And obviously, I love the gameplay, but it only will do so much. If people are exhausted of playing against the same shit, they're just not going to really want to play much. They're not going to enjoy it, and that's going to be a thing. So, anywho, that's number one. On a bit of a 1.5, I'm going to talk about another thing that has been very lacking, other than meaningful patches, the team ups. If you don't know, for the past couple seasons, team ups have basically taken a seat on the couch. They've taken a sit on. They're sitting on the couch. They're on the back burner. It's basically been hardly addressed. And some people are going to say, well, they maybe just don't have the resources, or, so on and so forth. But realistically, I'm sorry, at the end of the day, when you have a company as big as NetEase with all the resources they have and the teams they have, I just feel to say maybe they don't have enough time. It just feels like a bit of an excuse. Like, I don't know. In case you don't know, there have been very few team ups added in a new sense. You get team ups usually for the new heroes, like Cyclops has one with Wolvie, Dino has one with Punisher, and then they'll do a few shakeups. But there are some team ups that have literally been in this game for over a year, like the Cap Bucky team up, the team up with Jeff and Rocket being able to ride Groot. Maybe that you could argue that just stays permanently, but that's like still in the game. Hella Namor has been in the game forever. That's an annoying team up that's like just genuinely not fun to play into, in my opinion. And and there's even more. And the other thing also is you have some cases where team ups are just crutches for some characters. Like for example, Rogue for the longest time was very reliant on the Gambit team up. She was like basically really good without it, and then really crap without it. And because Gambit would often be a perma ban, you just never got the team up. So I think that we really need a shakeup on the team ups. It feels like they've really like the hope in me would maybe be that they're gonna cook up with like a big shakeup of a lot of team ups, but I just don't think that's gonna happen. So whatever the case is, we need something. Like even if it's just retire the old team ups and do something, like I don't know. We gotta really get something going there because it has just been stalemate central, just nothing happening, and it's just like it's unfortunate because team ups were like a really cool, exciting concept in my opinion with like the game and all that. All right, that's it for point one as far as balance goes. Number two is the matchmaker. The matchmaker, I'm going to be just straightforward, is really not good. It is trash. And it's even worse in higher ranks. I'm not even a high elo player. I'm like diamond. I'm basically a diamond player when I would play peak GM. But even then, the matchmaker could feel so awful at times. Basically, the matchmaker, you have really good win streaks and really, really bad loss streaks. And the balance is just all over the place. Like, matches will feel really uneven. You'll get that occasional match that is actually really fun and goes to OT or it's just a good game. But a lot of the matches just don't feel really well at all. It makes me think back to when I used to play a lot of Rogue, like Rogue Company. It was basically either get steamrolled or do the steamrolling. So you'll feel great when you smash the other team, but when you get stomped, it's awful. And when you get stomped multiple times and you lose game after game and you just see your SR go down the toilet, it's just not a good feeling. Now, yes, there are going to be days and sessions and streaks in any game where you're going to lose a lot, or you might win a lot. It's natural, but there's just nothing natural about how it feels in Rivals. It feels unnatural, if anything. So, yeah, for me, I think that the matchmaker just really needs some help. I think they need to do a full reset. I think that the placement matches are just not, well, they're not even true placement matches. Let's just keep that a buck. Basically, you're getting reset like one full rank, and if you win your placement matches, like half of them, you're just gonna go to that predicted. If you happen to win all 10, then you go back to the rank you finished at. There needs to be a complete reset. Like everybody needs to go back to the beginning, rebuild it up from the ground, and hopefully, get people in the ranks they should be. And I'm not even accounting for things like, smurfing or alt accounts or people taking a break from the game, being reset, and then coming back. I know for me, my rank is going to definitely shoot down a good amount, but I think, again, especially in high elo, where the margin for error is just so, like, much smaller, it's definitely going to be an issue. Anywho, that's what I would do is I would reset the ranks completely. And I mean, again, I'm not a techie. I wish I had a better way to kind of ask to make it feel better. But it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good when you lose games over and over. And then also, I think that the penalty for like throwers and people genuinely just trolling your games or being toxic in your games, I don't know if enough accountability is being taken there. I feel like it could just be much better, like honestly. Anywho, that's point number two. I would dive into it more again if I had like more of a idea on how to kind of balance that. So, part of me again. But that being said, let's go to point number three, which is a bit of a personal knack, but I kind of an overemphasis it feels like on cosmetics. Now, don't get me wrong, the skins are cool. The skins are great, actually. I think that that's a good thing in of itself. but it really does feel that we're just getting more uh priority put on skins as opposed to the other issues like the matchmaker, the balance, lack of team ups, so forth and so forth. I think that honestly, like, we just really need like a bit of time where we're not just thinking about, ooh, when can I get that next skin, or I don't know, when can I get the next Gooner skin, as cool as they look, or so forth and so forth. It feels like if you put too much like emphasis into your cosmetics and not into your core game is just going to continue to suffer. And I feel like I'm seeing it like happen in real time with Rivals. It's probably been happening for some time, where it's just too much is just put into the skins, the looks, all that jazz. And I'm not even gonna mention furthermore how some heroes get way more cosmetic attention than others. If you you probably know, you know the big breadwinners, yourself, but yeah, just putting that out there. And I guess on a 3.5, this isn't exactly the same with like what I'm talking about with cosmetics. But just speaking of cosmetics, we gotta talk about the Twitch drops. The Twitch drops are just piss poor. If you don't know what they are, it's usually a purple Galactic themed skin for a hero, such as Gambit, Daredevil, Hela. They've done them for a handful of heroes, but these are just so weak. You look at the Overwatch drops right now, whether it's esports or just for the new season, and you just get so much more. And other than the skin, the only other thing even somewhat appealing, or no, not even appealing, you get sprays, you get like a title card, and then you maybe get some purple units. Like, that's just so lackluster. The drops, we really gotta like figure something out. There's so much more I think you can give out with drops. You could give out blue, so you can actually save up for some really good skins, or you could just, I don't know, put some old skins that just didn't sell that well in the shop as a Twitch drop, and make it, make it a bit of a longer Twitch drop, because obviously it's a whole skin, but they really gotta like they really gotta step it up with the Twitch drops, because they're just so poor. They're just really not good. All right, we're about halfway through my points. Gosh, I'm yapping so much. Number four, arguably this should have been higher at the list, but we got to talk about the optimization. Now, has the optimization gotten better over the months? Yes, but it's still not great. This game just still takes so many resources and take up so much space in your library. This is a game that like really has to continue to work and improve on its optimization. And again, I know it has, but my goodness, does this game have some trouble. And not even just the optimization with like again like space or stuff like that, but just the fact that if you run Chrome on the side when playing this game, you have a really good likelihood of just basically crashing your game. And that's not cool. That's not fun. Like the fact that you can't have basically anything else on your side monitor or running in the background to play the game is a problem. Furthermore, I also believe. Oh no, I'm brain farting. I am brain farting. I'm gonna leave this in here because I'm doing this off the rip. Uh, but I'm not even talking about other bigger issues such as server lag. Server lag is really, really bad when that happens. I've been thankful to not have it, I think, really happen that seriously to me, but I have seen it, and yeah, server lag is such a big problem. Like, that can be just basically game breaking, like literally game breaking. But yeah, the optimization needs work. They need to continue to improve it, and it's just, you shouldn't have to have a monster mega machine PC. I mean, it's one thing if you have an old PC that is outdated, but you shouldn't need like a super high top of the line computer to play this game. Um, or at least play the game, at a baseline. So my hope is that on the technical aspects there, they can really continue to improve it and make it better, because the optimization is something that I feel like sometimes isn't talked about enough, but it definitely is a problem. Like, for all the reasons I mentioned. All right, that's going to be a bit of a shorter one. We're going to get into point number 5, and this is kind of a I would say this is definitely one that is not just a personal thing, but it definitely is one that I particularly like. had on the mind, and that is the toxicity, honestly, among the community. I'm gonna say it outright. Listen, every game has toxic elements to it and has bad actors, and I think obviously all of it is equally bad. That being said, though, the Rivals community is really goddamn awful. It's so bad. Like, this community is easily one of the most crybaby, give up, whine communities I think I've ever played in. Um, it's just so it's honestly borderline insufferable. You play with people that throw for simply locking the hero or so forth and so forth. I've gotten people in my comp games that just ban my hero even though I lock them because they don't like them. You got people that give up after one fight. You got people that just throw the game and quit. You got people that, and obviously you have the awful people in general that like say really nasty things or just awful to people, discrimination. That shit is really bad too. But I feel like there are so many disgruntled just players in general in Rivals, almost more than a handful of other games. Like it almost makes me think that a lot of the worn out players of other games have come to this game and have just stuck on it like for one reason or another. Again, this is a bit of a subjective take. It your experience can obviously vary very different from mine and other people's, so I'm not going to sit here and say that obviously every single person that plays this game is like that's not true. There are bad actors across any game, and there are good people across every game as well. But the rival community genuinely is just it's so exhausting. It's honestly a big reason I stopped playing much ranked at all, because I'm not gonna be that guy that like tries to say, "Oh, I lose every game because of my teammates." At the end of the day, if you lock in and improve hard enough, you can win in spite of bad teammates. But when you do get a lot of teammates that throw your games, that quit, that slur, and just give up like really early, it's hard to make up that ground. And I feel like I'm seeing a lot of it in Rivals. The rival community generally, how they're behaving is a pretty good indicator of like how well the game is kind of doing on a on a general basis. Like, are people having fun? Are people like liking the season? So yeah. At the end of the day, still just my personal opinion on that. But yeah, I think the community is just really, yeah, they can be really toxic. I think that it kind of goes hand in hand. Also, it's not always that one to one, but it kind of goes hand in hand with like how well the season is doing and people are happy with certain things on the game. But then you also got people, of course, that are just miserable regardless, and so yeah. I think that again there should be much more accountability for really bad actors. The cheaters as well. I didn't even get into the cheaters. Like there have been some really bad cheaters on Rivals lately that I've seen, and they're just like it doesn't help like all the other issues I've already mentioned. Okay, so that's that point. I'm now going to get into my final one, which is just kind of some closing thoughts. And I guess maybe sort of my summary in a vision of like really how to move the game forward and try and kind of get back to some good old fun with it. Personally, again, I think Rivals is a good game. I think it's still a good game. I think it's fun, but I think it's got flaws that have gone unaddressed for way too long. And I do believe if they don't address these sooner than later, it is going to spell a rough, rocky road, ahead in the future for the game. And I don't want that. I want the game to do well. I want it to succeed. As I said earlier, competition is good, competition's healthy, especially in the hero shooter genre with other games like Overwatch. Personally, the number one thing is I think Rivals really does need to have a hard hitting patch. They need to just shake it up and stop being so afraid to make changes. Make heroes that have never been meta before meta. I don't care how annoying it could feel. Shake it up. Give us a meta where like Squirrel or Scarlet or Magic or frickin' Iron Man, Storm even are actually really good. Give us a meta where we're actually seeing a lot of Hulk or heck, even one where we get a really good patch of like Thor, like characters that you just Rogue as well. I think could be cool. Characters you just haven't seen like in that picker ban area. And please, for the love of all things holy, just bring down some of these OP characters that have been at the top way too long. Bring down Phoenix, bring down Gambit, bring down Elsa, bring down Namor. Honestly, probably bring down Cap a little. I like as much as that might personally pay me. Cap has been really good for a long time. Like we need some shakeups. We just need shakeups, and we especially need this hit scan pokey meta to just take a seat. I know people don't like dive, and I'm not asking for like dive to be like the only way to play, but generally there's a sort of a triangle here. You have poke that can beat brawl, you have dive that should be able to deal with poke, and then you have brawl, which should be able to deal with the dive. But instead, what's going on right now is poke beats both dive and brawl, and certain very strong dive heroes kind of keep it in check. That's why I think that characters like Black Cat and Daredevil are almost a bit of a necessary evil. And then characters like Venom, characters like Cap, uh, hell, maybe even Angela to some degree have been kind of key in keeping like certain things from getting really out of hand. But then again, that's just my take. I'm not a dev, I'm not a pro at balancing, so I'm not gonna act like I know everything. And then reset the ranks, start it over with the matchmaker so we can really try to get like it built back up. Um Honestly, maybe just take a little time off of just thinking about pumping out tons of skins. I for a minute was thinking of being on the train of take a season to not release a hero, but I think that actually might hurt the game when I think about it more, because the content cycle is a big reason the game is still flowing. I think without it, if we were on the old system of a hero basically every 2 months, 1.5, 2 months, this game would be really struggling. It'd be struggling really, really hard. Um, Fix the optimization, make it better, make it so where again you don't need a crazy high running machine to play the game, and actually has some accountability, but also just make things fun again. Like obviously, there's gonna be shitters and bad actors that are gonna be toxic, but generally for the people that are just miserable and complainy and often might like throw and give up and stuff, if we address all the other points before, I think it has the potential to have a ripple effect. There's going to be some people that you can't please regardless, and obviously those people suck. But there are a number of people that I do think are having a bit of a carryover effect of just they're not enjoying the game, so they're just unfortunately miserable to kind of play with or against. I think if we make the game more fun and better, more people will have fun and you'll have a better environment. At least that's what I kind of believe in. But yeah, it's sad because I've loved Rivals. A lot of my friends hardly play it anymore. They're playing other games. A good amount of my friends have uninstalled it just because it's too much room. It's just too much for their system, or they just don't enjoy it. I think really at the end of the day, like, gotta they gotta get something going. We need to really shake things up because at this rate, I'm not really sure what else there is to do. So anywho, that's it for me. If you like this video, if you listen the whole way through, you're a trooper for that. Thank you. Um, and if you have any thoughts personally of your own that you think would help get the game going in a better direction, leave them down below in the comments. But hit a like, maybe give me a sub if you want. No pressure though, you don't have to. And until then, I'll see you next time. Not sure what I'll post next, but we'll see. Cheers.